What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. So, more trades in MLB. The trade deadline right around the corner. But first, we're going to start with some other stuff. In hockey, or a couple of extensions. Flyers extend center Travis Konecny 8 years, $70 million. Konecny had his second straight 30-goal season this year. 33 goals, 35 assists, 68 points this year. Back-to-back years, at least 30 goals and at least 60 points. He's turned into a very good player for the Philadelphia Flyers. And they obviously got very close to the playoffs this year. Better than they had the previous couple of years. They're still a pretty mediocre team, but Konecny is a very good player, and they lock him down for the next 8 years. Minnesota Wild did something similar with one of the best young defensemen in the league, Brock Faber. Got an 8-year extension worth $68 million. He had a great year last year, 8 goals, 39 assists, 47 points. Had a bit of a tough year last year. Got off to a brutal start. Made coaching change, started playing a little bit better, got back within striking distance of the playoff spot, but then couldn't finish strong and ended up missing out by a significant margin. Faber will be a member of the Minnesota Wild for the near future. By near future, I mean next 8 years. So on to basketball. Nuggets officially signed Russell Westbrook, 2 years, $6.8 million. Of course, I'm sure he'll be coming off the bench, be a backup behind Jamal Murray. Brooklyn Nets signed Killian Hayes, 21-year deal. I really don't understand why this guy is getting another shot. I gotta be honest. He's not that good. Didn't love him coming out. Pistons took him in the top 10 a few years ago. I know he's still only 23 years old. Was 7th overall pick, 2020. Yes, this would only be his 50. He's gonna be 23. This would be his 5th year in the league. The guy's played 4 years. Kind of know what he is. Like, the Pistons suck. He's had a lot of injuries. He only played 26 games as a rookie. He averaged 6, almost 7 points. He shot just 27% from 3, 35 from the field. Second year in the league, played 66 games. Yeah, basically the same thing, 6, almost 7 points. He shot 38% from the field and 26% from 3. His third year, played 76 games. We've seen mostly healthy. Best year to date, averaged 10 points a game. Shot, but still only 37% from the field, 28% from 3. And last year in 42 games, he averaged 6, almost 7 points again. Regress. Shot 41% from the field, which still wasn't very good, but not as bad. But still 29% from 3. The guy's terrible. He's not that good of a scorer. He can't shoot. He's okay passer. Not much of an athlete. Doesn't defend. The guy is just freaking awful. Is it the worst spot for him, I guess? Obviously going into a retooling phase. Obviously, you just trade Mikal Bridges for draft picks from the New York Knicks, so they're going to be very bad next year. You look at their team. It's you have Cam Johnson, who's pretty good. Nick Claxton's pretty good. You re-signed him for 4 years. Cam Thompson has a lot of potential. He averaged 24 points a game last year. He's a really good offensive-minded guard. So I guess for a team that's going into a rebuild, it's kind of just playing for draft position next year. Not going to compete for anything. I guess for one last shot, that's not the worst spot in the world. He needs to go somewhere like, he's not going back to Detroit. Like, he literally needs to go to Charlotte or Washington. I guess Brooklyn is in that same category. I think they really don't have much of a shot of competing for anything this upcoming year. Better off, winning 15 games and getting a top 3, top 5 pick than, trying to compete, winning 28 games, and end up, with the 8th pick in the draft. So I don't see it with this kid. The guy's not that good. The other move that happened, Suns signed Tyus Jones, 1 year, $3.3 million. I thought that was a solid move for the Phoenix Suns. Obviously, it won't make or break anything. They're still a very poorly built team, and I'm sure they'll lose in the first round again. He averaged 12 points and 7 assists last year. He shot 48 from the field, 41 from 3, 80 from the line for the Washington Wizards. Also averaged a steal a game. So he's always been a very good number 2 point guard. Solid backup point guard. He's a decent scorer, good shooter. He's a good passer, defender. To me, he was always an underrated player. He was in Memphis for a while. He was also in Minnesota. Last year was in Washington, and now he joins the Phoenix Suns. It's a point guard. I don't really have a point guard. I guess it's a point guard. I'm not sure the guy would start, but it's a point guard, I guess. All right, so I got one small thing I want to talk about with the Olympics. This is sort of a funny story, but also a stupid one. The Canada's women's soccer coach was removed from the Olympics. I believe she was banned for a year, or 6 months. She was using drones to spy on our teams. What are we doing? Like, what? This is the freaking Olympics. Like, what are we doing? It was all about like sportsmanship, and all different countries get to showcase their best athletes, and everyone's supposed to like each other. And now we got soccer coaches using freaking drones. Like, what? What are you doing? What are you doing? She should never be able to coach again. Not because like, oh yeah, she's a famous sport and all the people that try so hard. Just because of how stupid you have to be. What did you call freaking Jim Crane, the owner of the Astros? Well, yeah, how'd you do your sign stealing scandal? Did you take a page out of his book? What are we doing here? Just so dumb. Beyond dumb. I don't understand. All right, so there are a few extensions in the NFL. The first one I'm going to talk about, which was not nearly talked about, I ain't mind whatsoever. Line extend Taylor Decker. They're all pro left tackle, 3 years, $60 million. Lions have locked it out a bunch of their guys throughout this offseason. Started with all-pro receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown, got a 4-year extension worth $120 million. He was first team all-pro last year. He's an absolute stud. Did the same thing with their other tackle, Panay Sewell, who's also one of the best tackles in the league. You give him a 4-year extension. You send your quarterback Jared Goff, who had a good year last year. For 4 years, he got over $200 million. And then now you do Taylor Decker. Lions realized, window certainly has started. They were almost in the Super Bowl last year. They have a really, really good team. I think they will be out the Packers to win the NFC North. They improved their secondary. You sign Carlton Davis in free agency. You draft Terry Arnold in the first round. You have a really good offense. James Williams should be a more of a factor this year. The reason why they can't be in the NFC Championship again, they can be in the Super Bowl. The 49ers are really good, but to me, I still think they are the second best team in the NFC. So, Packers is locked down. Lions been doing that throughout the offseason. So Jordan Love got a 4-year, $220 million extension from the Green Bay Packers with $175 million guaranteed and a $75 million signing bonus. I really don't understand this. The guy was good for half of one season. His first 3 years, he played maybe 3 games. He sat behind Aaron Rodgers. He finally gets his shot. Remember, the first 11, 10 games, he was horrible. Horrible. And then he had, 8 really good games? Yes, he played phenomenal down the stretch last year. Played very well in that first-round playoff game against Dallas. I'm not going to cook him too much for the playoff performance in the second round against, it was against, I believe it was against the 49ers. Yeah, against the 49ers, that was a really bad pick he threw at the end, but it's one play. The guy, overall, he had a very good back half of the year. He played a great game against the Dallas Cowboys. It's his first year in the playoffs in the NFL as a starter. He's going to make mistakes. But why did you have to give him a bag? Why did you make him one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league? Why? What are we doing here? Guys, come on. Seriously? I just don't get it. $54 million a year? That's ridiculous. I'm sorry. That's horrible. $55 million a year for Jordan Love. He was good for 8 games. I don't understand. Also, the Packers have a really good young core. Look at the lineup they have on offense. Dontavian Dix, whatever his name is, Christian Watson, and Romeo Dubes. All these guys, Tucker Kraft, Jaden Reed. You got some pieces on defense as well. And how you gonna pay all these? Not you pay Jordan Love. Whenever you pay the quarterback like this, your window shrinks. Yes, a lot of these guys are on rookie contracts. Jaden Reed is going into his second year. Romeo Dubes is going into his third year. Dontavian Hicks or Vix, whatever his name is, going into his second year in the league. Tucker Kraft's going into his second year in the league. Christian Watson, who hasn't done a whole lot anyway, is only going into his third or his fourth year. So, Josh Jacobs, he just signed for 4 years. A.J. Dillon is signed for next year. So, but I'm not saying Love shouldn't get out an extension. You never want a starting caliber quarterback to hit the open market. That's why it never happens. Now you're playing the franchise tag game, and now you have to overpay him or have to trade him, and you won't get equal value because everyone knows you have to trade him, and people might not want to give him an extension as soon as they get there. If a guy is disgruntled in one place, he might be disgruntled in a different place as well. And now it gets very, very tricky. So that's why you see a lot of time mediocre quarterbacks that keep, they'll sign a 2 or 3 year deal, in a year to where they'll sign another one, like Kirk Cousins kept doing in Minnesota. There's a reason that keeps happening. So if he had a deal like Baker Mayfield got or Geno Smith got a couple years ago from Seattle, no issue at all. In fact, I would actually agree with that. Give him a 3-year deal, give him $35 million. That comes to what, 105. Give him 110, $150 million on a 3-year deal. If the guy breaks out into a star, all right, in a year or two, we can start talking about that 4, 5, $200+ million contract. If he kind of flops out, all right, now you can look at that. That's a movable contract. You can look to trade him or let him go. At least maybe not after the first year, but at least after the second year. If he turns out all right, he's a solid server and a great quarterback. Okay, that's pretty. $35 million now is pretty much what you're going to have to pay for average to above average quarterback play. You have options. You could keep him for the next couple of years. You could draft a kid, pull him behind him for a year, and then whenever the kid's ready, you let Love walk or trade him for a pick. Give yourself some options. But now you're just putting the crown on him as the franchise quarterback. Look, he might turn into it. Maybe he will. He played very well down the stretch last year. He did. I said it myself on this show. I was wrong on him. He's better than I thought. Is he elite? I don't know. But he is certainly a solid solver in this league. But can we stop paying mediocre quarterbacks like they're elite? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't. You really shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. That's really dumb. So I don't get it. And now the Packers, they need to win a Super Bowl for the next 3 years. Because that's the window. But when you pay the quarterback, your window closes. Because, we think, it's the same group. But when they're all on rookie contracts, not making a lot of money, you have plenty of assets to go improve your team, your window's pretty open. Once you give a guy who's got 8 career games or he's looked even an NFL starter, $55 million a year, now you have his money to improve your team and keep all of these guys. Your window shrinks. Packers are lucky they have a very young team, and a lot of their playmakers and top weapons for Jordan Love are on rookie contracts and won't have to get paid for a couple of years. But 2-3 years from now, a lot of these guys are under contract, and you got to pay a lot of these guys, and now they're not going to be able to do so for a lot of these guys because of how much they're paying Jordan Love. So now your window, which to me was looking pretty wide open, although they had a chance to be a great team for a while now. To me, your window is a little shorter now. It's about 3 years. Could they get a Super Bowl? Maybe. NFC isn't that powerful. You have the 49ers. You got the Lions. Still not sold on Philly. Not sure what they are. That's really it. Not sold on Dallas. It's the Cowboys. We all know what's going to happen once we get to January. No one in the South is scaring me. Not Atlanta, Tampa, not any of them are scaring me in the slightest. Maybe they can win 10 games to sneak into the playoffs. That's about as far as I'm going. Seattle, at best, is going to sneak into the 7th seed and lose in the first round. Not scared of the Rams. Maybe they can get into the playoffs again. They're not going to go far. So you could argue that you can make an argument the Packers are the 3rd best team in the conference. Not sure if I'll agree with you. I might feel like there's someone ahead of them, but you said the Green Bay Packers are the 3rd best team in the NFC. I might actually agree with you now I think about it. It's very, very possible. They are certainly one of the 5 best teams. Probably one of the 4 best teams, but I think they're a better team than Dallas Cowboys. Either way, if they play the Cowboys in the playoffs, we all know Packers are going to win that game. But I did not agree with Love getting that much. I think it's a massive overpay. To make things worse, Miami Dolphins are descending of Tua. 4 years, $212 million, $167 million guaranteed. This one might be worse. I don't get the infatuation with Tua Tagovailoa. I don't understand it. But is he bad quarterback? No. He led the league in passing yards last year. But you basically told your fans, Stephen Ross, the owner there, it was a terrible owner, by the way, on the field. Chris Greer, the GM, and the entire organization is telling their fans, we are okay with being 10-7, 11-6, making the playoffs, and losing the first round every single year. They are committing to mediocrity. That's what you're telling your fans. Tua is not winning the Super Bowl. It's been proven. The guy's been in the league for like 5 years. I'll put you this way. Look, I'm not one who says, a quarterback by his third year has to be a star in the league. You have to know everything about him. But after 4 or 5 years, I think it's fair you should know something. It's been almost a presidential term and a half. Like, he was in the same draft as Burrow and Justin Herbert. So this is what, going to be his fourth, fifth, sixth year? He's his fifth year in the league? At this point, you know what these guys are. His fifth season in the NFL. You kind of know what he is. You've been in the league for a presidential term. Like at that point, you know what the guy is. Also he's in a loaded offense. Tyreek Hill is top receiver in the league at least. Maybe the fastest receiver we've ever seen. Jalen Waddle is already a top 10 receiver in the league. Also one of the fastest receivers in the league. Raheem Mostert is maybe the fastest running back in the league. Wasn't All-Pro last year. Dev Nation is also one of the fastest running backs in the league. One of the big play threats in the league. Pretty good offensive line. You got an offensive line head coach, Mike McDaniel. Like, you throw for 1,400 yards and 30 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. It's not that impressive when every single time you've had to elevate yourself, you've felt flat on your face. And every time you've been in the playoffs, you've fallen flat on your face. And look, he's been able to stay healthy this last couple of years. He has shoved the injury bug for the most part. He played a full season last year for the first time in his career. I still, in the back of my mind, think he's one just bad hit away from his career being over. The guy's had a concussion 3 times in his career. Back in high school, he had injuries. He had major hip surgeries last year at Alabama. He's had injuries throughout his NFL career. A couple of years ago, he broke his ribs. A couple of years ago, he had 3 concussions, close to him a lot of time. 2 years ago. The guy's kind of made of glass. Obviously last year stayed healthy, but I'm still a little worried. Look, it's one thing if the guy breaks his hand, in a freak accident, or he sprained his ankle and has to miss 3 or 4 games. That's one thing. If he takes one bad hit, his career might be over. I still think that is the case. Miami Dolphins have committed to mediocrity by locking up Tua Tagovailoa. All right, so let's finish up the MLB trade deadline. We were about to trades that happened yesterday. Of course, they've been piling in the trade deadline in a little over 24 hours. Time you're seeing this will be probably a little less than that. The Seattle Mariners make a move to get Justin Turner from the Toronto Blue Jays. They give up a prospect in the deal. RJ Schreck, who's now here. Turner got off to a rough start, but he's been playing a lot better lately. Overall hitting 254, 349 on base, 371 slugging, 6 home runs, 31 RBI, 720 OPS. So nothing super pretty, but he's much older now. He's definitely the back end of his career. He's been in the league for a long time. Obviously, he's always been a really good hitter. Can play. He's really mainly a third baseman, but he can play. He mainly DHs now, but he also plays third, second, and first. He's still a decent hitter. Like I said, also a rough start, but lately he's just playing about well and playing better. Seattle's done a good job at the deadline. Obviously, you got Randy Arozarena from Tampa, who obviously had a much down year from what he's used to. He's usually a guy that hits for a decent average and gives you 30 bombs. So only came to the now hitting 211, but he does have 15 home runs already on the season. Turner's another guy who's been hitting pretty well lately. They give RJ Schreck this year in 86 games this year between high and double A. Hitting 250, 392 on base, 444 slugging, 12 home runs, 45 RBIs, 836 OPS. So he's had a good year, so a pretty solid prospect to get back for the Toronto Blue Jays. Seattle brings in Turner. Cleveland Guardians bring in Lane Thomas from the Washington Nationals. They give up 3 prospects in the deal. It's a nice pickup for the Cleveland Guardians. Thomas hitting 253 at 331 on base, 407 slugging, 8 home runs, 40 RBIs, 730 OPS. So he's been league average this year. He's decent. Cleveland definitely needs an outfield bat, and they get it. Cleveland's on team that's going to, go out and swing for the fences and pick up, Brett Rucker from the Oakland Athletics. But Lane Thomas and the Washington Nationals were at the rally, and they'll still pick up the guys they give up. They give up starting pitcher Alex Fleming, 19 starts, 4.67 ERA, 69 in the third, 97 strikeouts against 47 walks. And then the shortstop and Rafael Ramirez Jr. in A-ball. He has struggled this year, 54 games. He has won 187 with a 620 OPS, almost 23 RBIs. So you don't give a whole lot in the training. You think get some more throwing as well. I think it's pitched a little bit in higher-ish levels of the majors with a little bit of success, but not so much the major league level yet. Don't give up a whole lot. Get a boost in the outfield. Dodgers make a move. They got Amed Rosario. They actually, second year in a row, they've traded for Rosario. Last year, Rosario was with Cleveland. Then they made a trade they wanted to grab him. And the offseason, he signed a 1 year with the Rays. And once again, they make a move to get him. The trade they wanted to come from the Tampa Bay Rays. Rosario's hit 307 this year, 331 on base, 417, like 2 home runs, 26 RBI, 748 OPS. So his numbers outside of his average aren't super pretty. He's not gone on base a whole lot. Slugging is down. Only 2 homers, 26 ribbies. OPS is about league average, but he's been a very good bat to ball hitter this year. He's hitting 307. A guy who can play kind of all over the field. Obviously, he can't play shortstop with the Mets. Yeah, didn't really turn out the way the Mets wanted him to, but he can play short. He's played second and third a little bit more this year for Tampa. He can play the outfield. He's played the outfield a lot more in the last couple of years. He's now once again with the Dodgers, and they give up a relief pitcher prospect in Michael Flynn in 31 games and 1 start in Double and AAA. 4.25 ERA, 42 in the third innings, 59 strikeouts and 16 walks. So they are basically a solid reliever in the minor league. So not a whole lot, and they add some versatility on the infield. And overall, with Rosario, the Astros get Yusei Kikuchi from the Toronto Blue Jays. Kikuchi this year hasn't been great. 22 starts, 4.75 ERA, 115, 2/3 innings, 130 strikeouts and 30 walks. He's a guy, in Seattle signed off 3 years ago, gave him that big contract, full of opt-outs. Coming out of Japan, thought he was going to be a stud. Has not been the player we thought he was going to be. Those overseas guys are either hit or miss. He's been a bit of a miss, but he's a guy. He's very inconsistent. When he's on, he's a really good pitcher. When he's off, he's very bad. I do like him in Houston. I do think he'll give a boost to their rotation. They've had a lot of injuries in the rotation this year. Verlander is hurt right now. He's missed a lot of time this year. You lost Urquidy for the season. Tommy Johnson, same thing with Lance McCullers. J.P. Francis has not been good. So this is a nice boost for them. Jake Bloss, starting pitching prospect. That's a very good return though for the Toronto Blue Jays to get Bloss, who won 13 starts this year in the minors, 1.64 ERA, 66 innings, 63 strikeouts against 21 walks. You get back an outfielder, Joey Leperfido. In AAA of the year, hitting 272, 365 on base, 568 slugging, 13 homers, 33 RBIs, 933 OPS. Had 106 at bats with the Astros this year. Has hit 236. And you get back at third base. You can also play second, and Will Wagner at AAA is hitting 307, 424 on base, 429 slugging, 5 home runs, 41 RBIs, 853 OPS. So that's a very good return for a pending free agent who's got a year close to 5 this year for the Toronto Blue Jays. The Astros look in win now mode. You've won 2 World Series in the last 7 years. You've been to the World Series, I think 4 or 5 times. You've been to the LCS 6, 7 years in a row. Trying to do that again this year. Obviously, you're trying to keep up with Seattle. You're neck and neck with. You finally caught up to them, and Seattle's been busy. You're trying to keep pace with them at the deadline. So they pick up Yusei Kikuchi from the Toronto Blue Jays. We had a big 3-team trade between the Dodgers, St. Louis Cardinals, and the Chicago White Sox. So the Dodgers get Michael Kopech, who's a reliever from the White Sox, and infielder Tommy Edman from the Cardinals. Cardinals get Eric Fetty from the White Sox, and Tommy Pham, who started in St. Louis. They reunite with Tommy Pham. Get those 2 guys from the White Sox. White Sox get Miguel Vargas from the Dodgers, and they also get 2 prospects. Let's break this down. This is a very confusing trade lot to take in. Kopech is here, 43 games, 4.74 ERA, 43 and 2/3 innings, 59 strikeouts against 24 walks, 9 saves. He's a guy who's a superstar pitching prospect for the Red Sox. The White Sox got him in the Chris Sale trade. Never even worked out as a starter, but has turned into a solid reliever. Numbers don't look great this year. That team is so bad. I do think he'll pitch a lot better for the Dodgers. Dodgers seem to get the best out from pretty much everybody. They turn guys around like that. Just the team behind him is very bad. They're very bad defensively. I don't give them any run support. They're just so bad. I'm sure he was overused a little bit. Now, it's only 9 saves, meaning the team's had 17 wins all year. It's almost August. I don't know what you got to do there. I think it was a solid pickup. And Tommy Edmonds, interesting one. He has not played all season. Last year, he hit 248 for 307 on base, 399 slugging, 13 home runs, 47 RBIs, 75 OPS. So not great. He's a really good defender on the infield. Can play all over the infield. He's a really good defender. He had surgery in the offseason. He had a setback from it during spring training, so they shut him down. They put him on the 60-day IL. Hasn't played this year, but is to come back soon. So Dodgers, they were looking for some more versatility on the infield. Also, you have Gavin Lux, a guy who's very injury prone. So you wanted some versatility there. You have Miguel Rojas there as well. You get that by bringing in Almazar and now Tommy Edman, and you add Kopech to your bullpen. Cardinals pick up Eric Fedde, who's had a career year this year, 21 starts, 3.11 ERA, 121 and 2/3 innings, 108 strikeouts against 34 walks. He's had a career. Kim Washington never really turned out, but has had a strong year this year for the White Sox. He gives a boost to their Cardinals rotation. And Tommy Pham this year, signed off the street in April, and he's overall played well. 266, 330 on base, 380 slugging, 5 home runs, 19 RBI, 17 OPS. So after a hot start, he's cooled off a lot, but he can be a solid 4th outfielder. He started his career in St. Louis. He had some good years there. I was always surprised when they give up on him so quick. They traded him. It was kind of a shock when they traded him. He's always been the guy who's, for the most part, is a very good hitter, decent outfielder. He's been around a while. Obviously, he's not afraid to say anything. Obviously, he's famous for slapping Jock Peterson in the face, just randomly before the game over a fantasy football dispute. I think he threatened to fight some player when they switched into Tyler Stevenson, who was his teammate, the catcher for the Red Wings in Cincinnati. That injured Stevenson. I thought that was a little bit much. Obviously, after he got traded from the Mets last year, he said that the Mets didn't work hard. That being said, I didn't really care about that. He was a Mets fan. He was kind of right about the Mets last year. But overall, he's been a good clubhouse guy. He's had issues with guys on other teams, like Jock Peterson was not his teammate. Obviously, another guy with the guy who slid into Tyler Stevenson, he's not his teammate. He didn't make comments with the Mets until after he was traded from the Mets, and he was right anyway. So he's a good locker room guy, good clubhouse guy. I think it's a solid pick for the Cardinals. So probably be their 4th outfielder. And the White Sox, obviously, they need to rebuild. That team is brutal. You pick up Miguel Vargas from the Dodgers this year, 239 batting average, 313 on base, 423 slugging, 3 homers, 9 RBI, 735 OPS. Vargas is still really young, still only 23 years old. He's been in the league for a few years. Hasn't done a whole lot. This is his best year to date. He'll turn the corner, and now he'll get a lot more playing time with the White Sox. Should help him. And you get a couple of prospects. You get back third baseman who also play second. Miguel Perez and A-ball this year. 75 games, hitting 264, 380 on base, 420 slugging, 10 home runs, 42 RBIs, 800 OPS. And then you get a shortstop who can also play, I think, second in Alexander Albertus. 51 games, hitting 298, 420 on base, 409 slugging, 3 home runs, 42 RBIs, 829 OPS between rookie ball and A-ball. So to break it down, the Dodgers give up Vargas and a prospect or two for Malcolm Kopech and Tommy Edman. Cardinals give up Tommy Edman, I think a prospect for Eric Fedde and Tommy Pham. The White Sox give up Michael Kopech, Eric Fedde, and Tommy Pham for Miguel Vargas, 2 prospects. I think the Dodgers did a good job. Vargas is a guy. I mean, yes, you could use his versatility along the infield. He's still young, but you're bringing Tommy Edman and Alvin Rosario anyway, so you actually got better in that matter, and you add a piece for your bullpen. Cardinals give up Tommy Edman, who's been injured all year anyway, for Eric Fedde, who will give your rotation a boost, and Tommy Pham, who can give you some boost as a 4th outfielder. And the White Sox are just trying to get as much as they can for these guys. Miguel Vargas prospects is not their return. Or like Michael Kopech, who didn't have that much value. He is signed for next year, but not having a good year. Fedde, we're going to get a whole lot for, and not 90 worry for Tommy Pham, because they're cheap and going to be afraid at the end of the year, especially Tommy Pham. Moving on, Cincinnati Reds get Ty France for a prospect. He was DFA'd by Seattle last week. He had a brutal year. I think just 220, 312 on base, 350 slugging, 8 home runs, 31 RBIs, 662 OPS. He was great 2 years ago. When All-Star broke out, but it's been really bad these last 2 years. Reds got trying to get something for him to get back. Andrew Salcedo, 188 and 16 at bats in Abel also. They're trying to get something for him. How bad deal for the Reds? You give up nothing. Maybe he's a reclamation prospect. You never know. The Red Sox make a small trade with the Pirates. Get Quinn Priester from them for a prospect. It's not been great this year. 10 games, including 6 starts, 5.04 ERA, 44 and 2/3, 31 strikeouts against 13 walks. So he's just some depth. You could tell Boston's trying to get some depth. Obviously, pick up Danny Jansen. He'll be a better backup catcher than Reese McGuire. You pick up James Paxton for some starting pitching depth. You've had a lot of injuries in your rotation. Now you pick up Quinn Priester. This is actually a good return for the Pirates to get Nick York, who's a second baseman. He's hit 278, 363 on base, 422 slugging, 10 bombs, 46 RBIs, 785 OPS between high A and double A. He was the 6th best prospect in the Red Sox system. It's a good return for a depth starter with an ERA at 5. Not gonna lie. The Brewers pick up Frankie Montas, the veteran starter. They get up Joey Wiemer and Jakob Jonas. It was a very small trade. Montas has not had a good year. 19 starts, ERA of 5, 93 1/3, 78 strikeouts against 41 walks. He's not been the same since he had all those elbow issues. Towards the end of his Oakland tenure, he was hurt. He tried to pitch through after get traded to the Yankees. It ended up really hurting the Yankees. He was really bad. Was barely pitched in the postseason. Last year didn't pitch at all. He had surgery in spring training, shoulder surgery, cost him the whole season. So I want you to do with the Reds this year, and it's not been great. But also Milwaukee, it's just depth. He didn't get much. Drug has been horrible. He's hit 154 and just 26 at bats a year. And Jakob Jonas has only pitched in 10 games. He's pitched well in those games. 10 games, 1 start, 2.42 ERA, gives 26 innings. But he's a swing man. He's not making up a whole lot for some strong pitching depth. It's a very trade, and for the Reds, Wiemer is still young. Jakob Jonas can be a top prospect. You never know. And the Braves made a move late last night. They bring back 2 old friends, Jorge Soler, outfielder DH, and reliever Luke Jackson. Give up Tyler Matzik and a prospect. Soler, actually the World Series MVP for the Braves in 2021. He's bounced around. Was in Miami. Now he's in San Francisco. He signed a multi-year deal. This year, hitting 240. 331 on base, 419 slugging, 12 home runs, 40 RBIs, 749 OPS. So that's been a big year-to-year guy. He was inconsistent with the Cubs. He goes to the Royals. He leads the league in home runs 2019 with 47 bombs. He had a couple of rough years. Goes straight to the Braves, goes off, wins World Series MVP. He got a 3-year deal from the Marlins. His first year was horrible. His second year was really good. He opts out. Tons of multi-year with the Giants. He's just been okay, but they need an outfield bat for sure. The Atlanta Braves, obviously, since Acuna went down, they've really shook the offensive line, especially in the outfield. And they get that. He's an old friend. Luke Jackson will just be there for that. He has not had a good year. 36 games, 5.4 ERA, 35 innings, 33 strikeouts against 15 walks. And don't give up much. Tyler Matzik has only pitched in 11 games here. ERA of 9.9. It's been brutal, and he's been hurt for almost 2 months. And you have a third baseman prospect, 7 Bayos, 84 games, 259 batting average, 3 on base, 54 slugging. 3 home runs, 30 RBIs, 707 OPS in high A ball. Right, don't give a whole lot. Soler was a big prize here, and give him a little bit of boost in the outfield. All right, that is all I have for you guys today. Till next time, so long. Have a great day.